Ready to get started.
All right, folks, how are you?
We're doing very well.
Hello, hello,
All right,
Nate.
all right. Hey, good to see you all. I thought I wasn't going to make it. I got caught up in a nasty 81 crash and everybody trying to go to Penn State too. Woo,
Sure.
unbelievable. Anyhow, here I am.
But you're here now, and
Yes.
we are on live, kind sir.
Okay, good, good. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome, Sister Roe, and also Brother Neil Owens. Good to see you both, as
Hello,
always.
hello. Yeah.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Hey, so again, like I said, I feel for the people that are out there. Major accident on 81 South, and I was caught in the traffic, could not get out, and then finally I just said, you know what, folks, be nice to me, and they did. But boy, I'm telling you, somebody, I hope no one's dead out there. But also, Penn State has the first game tomorrow, so everybody's trying to get to State College. Y'all know how that is. I don't know if you've been up this way. It's a madhouse, but it's all good though. How you both doing?
All's well here.
All right. Ro?
I'm good. I'm just sleepy.
I hear you. Oh my goodness, don't even say it. I just came back from a deep tissue massage.
Ooh.
Telling you, at one point I heard myself snore. Just I said, "Uh-oh." Yeah, but this neck, and she kills it. Oh my goodness, I'm sore all over. But it's all good. I need to do it every week, trying to get this deep tissue massage. But anyhow, what can I tell you? Hey, Ro, I'm excited about your editing service.
Yeah. Are you familiar with it's called Align? I think it's called
No. Align?
Yeah, it's like I guess it's an app. And somebody had invited me to it because I belong to all these Facebook pages, and a lot of them are promotional Facebook pages. So I've been putting it out on promotional pages, and somebody invited me to this app called Align. And
Okay.
now it's like I get like referrals.
Okay,
And
so
get
and the line is for what? It's for
Yeah,
anything?
it's like for small businesses. So I'm kind of connected with that, and I was surprised because Queenie was on there. A couple
Oh,
of other people I know were on there, that had businesses in the past, and I guess it just, keeps it in their network.
well, send it to me, please.
Oh.
Yeah, send that to me. Neil might want it too, man. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
I would like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've connected with quite a few people, and I only did it maybe earlier this week, and I've been getting,
Fantastic. That sounds wonderful. I have a life, coaching business I'm trying to get off the ground. Been, we're doing okay, but I'd like to do more. But yeah, that sounds like the referral source. All right. Yeah. Okay, so Neil and I both said we want it, so hook us up, please.
Okay, I'm gonna find it now.
By the way, I like the pictures of the video that you had of Theo. Yeah, that was cool. You guys were out eating somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, we just like
Mm-hmm.
go to this little Mexican restaurant we found right around the corner from our house.
Okay.
And he just seems to so enjoy it. And it's like he's so funny. Like I'm him engaging him in conversation and his head is in the bowl. It's like, okay, so and I'll say, today's your video.
All right, way to do it.
Yeah.
What's it like down where you live, man? What's the, more suburban, more urban, but give us some idea where you are, man. I know you got all them dogs, brother.
Yeah. Well, it's I guess you can say it's a little bit suburban, High Point. There's a lot of Trumpers, man, around here though.
You said truckers?
Trump.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Trump lovers, man.
Oh man.
Wow.
They're everywhere these days, brother. Yeah, even the guy across the street here from me, man, this cat had the biggest Trump flag I've ever seen in my life. I think Trump had a flag that big. And then when he lost that election, the bad boy still stayed up for a bit. I hope he's not one of those guys that went down, the January 6th Raiders. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was, but he knows.
With a flag that big, I'm sure he was one of them.
Woo, he had a big one. I'm like, man, you think he's for Trump or what? How about your area, Ro? I mean, I know you're in the heart of DC down there, right?
Oh, and it's funny. really, it's kind of New Yorkish here,
Oh,
where you don't really connect with, like even the people in the building. I
mhm.
don't think I've seen the same person twice in this building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I'll, get on the elevator, like to go outside, like today to go to lunch.
Mhm.
And there's always a whole new crop of people,
Mm,
but you never really
wow.
connect with like a neighbor.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
very New Yorkish here.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you know what Harrisburg's like, so it's not New Yorkish.
No, it's
That's
very
for
small,
sure.
very small townish.
All
It's
townish.
taking some time to adjust to, like getting on the elevator.
Mhm.
I guess I think I'm an all around person. Like I'm awake at night, I'm a night out and a morning person. So I get on the elevator and say, good morning.
Mhm.
And then, like, especially if you're going to the second floor to the 10th floor. So you've just
Mhm.
created this awkward silence when the person doesn't say anything back to you. So you're just
Isn't
like,
that something?
okay.
No, yep. It just say, what can you do? How about you, Neil? People friendly in your area?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
very friendly.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I just one thing because I come from a small town. I remember when I first went to college and then running around in Philadelphia, places like that. I spoke to everybody, and after a while I realized that no, Nate, that's probably not protocol here in the big metropolis. People don't. Everyone just doesn't speak. Is what it is. Hey, we're gonna have two guests on tonight. They'll be coming on when they can come on. Terri Martinez, who is T-Dub Publishing, she's going to come on and talk about T-Dub Publishing and just the whole notion of publishing. And then also a couple of projects. She's working on a lot of projects for a lot of different people. Folks are, in fact, she's literally meeting with someone starting at 6 o'clock today who has a writing project that she's working on. She'll come down, she'll be coming on. And then also Tamika Brown. If you haven't heard Tamika Brown's poetry, she's very, very good. And so, I called her and said, hey, she said, oh, I'd love to do that. So she's hoping to come on and share about 3 poems with us. Give us a few minutes and everything. So we'll pick them up as they come in and all that good stuff. But I thought we would, pick out a subject tonight as we always do and also do some reading. Neil, I saw your advertisement about the storyteller coming out, man. I was like, all right, here we go now. Yeah, it was on Facebook. You want to tell us about that real quick?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna release it next month.
Okay.
But I put one of the stories out there for, you can go to my website and read it for free,
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the stories that I released. But it's a lot of new adult type stories, and it's a lot different, and it's kind of it's a kind of a different approach. It's a lot of it's a lot of, there's profanity, there's eroticism. I mean, it's just a lot of different genres.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And then there's some very, 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 very controversial, hard-hitting stuff that's very realistic and realism and very, very, very controversial, man. It's the one 430 years, that particular story is yeah, that's a very hard-hitting tale, man. There's a lot of information there.
Okay.
And shock a lot of people, man.
All right. All right. Here's Terri right now. Okay, I just mentioned Terri Martinez. Here she goes. How you doing, Terri?
Hello. Oh, yes. Hello. How are you?
All right. All right. Hey, we have Neil Owens on and also Ro.
How you doing?
Terri, yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Terri.
Hey, Ro. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Cannot complain.
All right.
Good.
And so Neil was just telling us about his book that's coming out next month called The Storyteller, and he was filling us in. And Neil, so people will be able to pick it up. It's on Amazon, right? And how else can they purchase the book?
Well, it'll be on Amazon, but you'll be able to get it in any bookstore. Anywhere books are sold online, you'll be able to get it. So it's spread across, yeah.
Okay, I think we have brother. There it goes. All right. Always on it. Way to go, man. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. And that's the storyteller. Is that the actual cover?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's the story. That's the cover.
Uh-huh. All right. Good, good, good. Yeah, that's good, man. I like the who did your graphics for you?
The guy who did my editing. he also did the, cause I gave him the idea what I wanted, and
Okay,
he put it together.
fantastic. Good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I asked Terri if she would come on tonight. Terri has a T-Dub Publishing, and Terry's also a fine, very good writer. And so I asked her to come on tonight and talk about, T-Dub and just give us some idea about, how people go about getting published, especially with T-Dub. And then also, one of her books as well. So why don't we, talk to Terri, and I'd like both Ro and Neil to jump in on the interviewing, ask questions as well. And then, and I don't know how much time, I know you got some company coming and everything else. So why don't we just get right on in? Okay.
I should be good till 7:30.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Mhm.
Okay, well, you already introduced me. My name is Terri Martinez. I write under both Terri Martinez and author Terri D.
Mhm.
And I do have a very small publishing company called T-Dub Publishing, and I wanted to share just some information with, and I know, Ro, you do your own self-publishing as well, so feel free to chime in or jump in if I'm stating anything incorrect. But I didn't start off trying to publish people. I created my own publishing company back in 2010 when I was working on my first book. And I've really just published my own books under T-Dub Publishing until 2021. During the pandemic, I was contacted by someone that I used to work with, and she asked me initially to ghostwrite a story for her. But as I continued to talk to her and get more information, I thought we should probably collaborate on that effort. So we did. We ended up putting out a book called Love, Lies, and Fight. And it's I wrote it with Julie Bellatrix. So that was the first time I published anyone other than my own books. And from there, it just people just started contacting me, asking for me to help them. So I don't just publish other people. I mean, I can certainly do that, but the process of getting your books out there is so easy. I don't know, Rose kind of smirking. I think it's pretty easy. So I really try to help people and teach them the process.
Yeah.
But there are some people that just don't want any parts of it. And I'm laughing because when I wrote my first book, I was working with Janita Jackson. And she kind of did the same thing. She had a couple of different packages that she offered. And, one of them was, I could do some of the work, or she would show me how to do it. And I was like, no, let you just do everything. So I do still have people that don't really realize, how easy it is to do. But I'm kind of all over the place right now as far as the types of clients I have. I do have some that I'm doing everything, they write the book. They may do some preliminary editing or have someone that they've worked with before do some editing. And then I get the manuscript and I go through my own process of reading it and doing editing and all that. And, we kind of go back and forth. And then I have other people that they just want book covers. I also do book cover design. Some people just want me to do their book covers. So anything along the way that people would like assistance with, time permitting, because the first thing, I have to say to people, I do have a full-time day job and I do have other things that I'm involved in. So depending on what they want, I'm always going to ask, what's your time frame? Because if I'm not confident that I can meet their time frame, then I don't want to get either one of us upset or frustrated with the process. So that's something that I do. So I wanted to mention that I just published for a young lady last weekend. I think it went live on Amazon last Saturday night. It's called The Happening. Young lady, just graduated from college in May, and her name's Rhea Lee. And her book is blowing up on Amazon. Yesterday evening, I checked and it was rated like the top new book top new release, thank you, in her category. So very proud of her. It was a process. She's an excellent writer. She really is. Even though this is her first book, I mean, she's done some other things before, but just getting it where I thought it should be, to help her out was a process, but she's doing really well. One of the things I should mention, and this is just for TW Publishing, I don't really do a lot of marketing for my clients. That's just not something that I do. But I am talking about Rhea because she's done so well, and I feel like a proud mother. So I have been sharing, about her book this week because I think it's a good thing that has been done. But I don't really do that. I'm working on a couple of anthologies. I have Unapologetically a Woman of God anthology that I'm working on. I am working on the Life Lessons anthology for the Wordshop. And Ro, I believe you had submitted something last year for that, but we didn't get enough submissions. So I held what you said last year, and I can send that back once we're ready to have everybody review everything. And if you want to use that, it's fine. If you want to submit something else, it's whatever you want to do. But that's something that's probably going to end up being later this year or maybe even beginning of next year. I'm not sure.
Okay. But
where we stand with that.
Keep us posted on that because that was a great project and I really want to see that come to fruition, So, okay.
Yeah, I spoke with Dr. Shantae James today, and she has some students of hers that are very interested in participating. And I've heard from 3 or 4 of them already. So, initially our deadline was, I think, July 15th or July 30th or something like that. So I let them know we've pushed that out. I would like to say maybe to sometime in October, just so that, I have time to, like I said, go through everything and get it all, formatted the way it needs to be. So we'll see what we end up with as far as submissions and how many pages I think it's going to be. But those are, key projects. I'm also working on a project for Dr. James. She will have a book coming out in October or November. I'm sorry, I should know that. November. I think it's November. Yes. So working with her on a project.
Johnny James.
I'm sorry.
Johnny James.
Shantae James.
Shantae. Yeah, I was just on her podcast. Yes.
I'm working on a book for her right now. So.
Oh, neat.
Yes. Yeah, she's really great to work with. And I did a podcast with her, I think it was like maybe 6 weeks ago, but yeah, she's doing good things. Yes.
Good stuff. Well, appreciate it. So you have really picked up though in terms of people, seeking you out. And when you introduced yourself, you said a small press, very small press, but actually you're growing quite a bit. How many that's good stuff,
it seems like, people are finding me now. I've done a couple of different poetry books. And I've actually, I'm not sure, Mr. Nate, if you're aware, but, I've also worked with Derek James and I've helped him with some of his curriculum. But he actually I'm getting ready to start my 3rd project with Derek, and it's actually going to be a book. It's not a curriculum. So I'm excited to work with him on that because the curriculums were, challenging because I've never done those before from a formatting perspective. But, I like to learn new things and stretch myself. So, those were good. I did 2 of those for him.
Derek's a great guy. Derek is a Reverend Derek James, and he has a dynamic fatherhood group that he runs on Saturday mornings.
Yes.
And he's doing really good stuff. So that's great. Glad to hear that. Yeah. So, all right.
Oh, I said hello. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, you guys used to go to church together.
Yeah, I've known him for years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He started his own church, and it's really doing well.
Yeah, I know.
It is. Yeah. Yes, it is. He's a good guy. He comes out to our men's breakfasts that we have on Friday mornings at times. He's not always able to make it. No one is, but anyhow, we have a good time. So, Brother Neil, did you have any comments or questions for Terri?
Yeah, I missed some of her piece, but so you are, when you're saying you're working with the writers on their publishing, you help with publishing, correct?
Yes, I'm also an author. I have I have about 8 books that I've done. But yes, I was on here to talk more about the work that I've been doing with getting other people published. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was interested in, just some of the work you was doing with getting some of the folks published. Who did you find to be? What do you find to be the most exciting part of working on the publishing?
Well, I like there's so many things. I actually have quite enjoyed doing over the last year and a half, I've gotten into doing some book cover design. So I like that creativity part. But I really enjoy, like this book I just mentioned, The Happening for Ray and Leah. I really enjoyed seeing like the first manuscript to the final book that we put out there, seeing the growth, seeing the development of it, based upon, I make suggestions, I go back and forth with the authors to try to, to me, it's really about what's the message you're trying to convey and who's your target audience, questions that you need to ask, because a lot of people, everybody you meet, if you tell them you're an author or if you've written a book, what's the next thing they say? Oh, I want to write a book. Everybody wants to write a book. But then when you get to the nitty gritty of, well, what's it going to be about? And, all the things that you try to share with them that they have to think about, what genre is it? And when you post things at Amazon, what's the category? All those different things, they're like, I don't know. Well, it matters. Right. It really matters. You have to know your target audience and you have to know the message you're trying to convey. So I think, working with the authors and really trying to help them hone those things, just based upon my experience. And my first book came out in 2010, but, I'm not an expert by any means, but I do have a lot of authors that I know. And when it's beyond what I know that I can, go to those people that I've established relationships with and, get their feedback. I've had a couple of people approach me about children's books. I've never done a children's book before. So that's an area that I would probably need to, reach out and get some advice if anyone ever approaches me about that.
And then you didn't mention the one prize book that you really put out was my book. You didn't mention one, okay.
Yes. Yes,
Mr.
Nate's book is again one of my well, it's actually there is something unique about your book, Mr. Nate. It's the first time that I did a hardcover book.
Yes.
So that was something new that I had never done, designing that cover for you and embarking on that hardcover adventure.
And I tell you, it made all the difference in the world. It really
did. It really
nice.
did.
Yeah. So yeah, appreciate that. Yep. But anyhow, I actually have also, we just put out a new newsletter. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm gonna send the newsletter. Hopefully I can send this version to Brother Chris. Maybe you can put it up for us tonight. The newsletter it's published and it's the September issue and all that. I'll tell you more about that. But I do want to mention that Roe has just embarked on a new editing service. And so perhaps you and Terri can talk, and Neil too, for that matter, about the editing service and all that you offer. And awesome. Maybe there could be a collaboration there. So just
awesome. Yes.
Yeah, Terri, can you send your put your contact information in the
please do.
box chat?
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Good. All right. Well, Terri, I really appreciate you coming on. And did you have anything else you'd like? By the way, did you give the title of some of your books? I know your latest one was Love, right?
Yeah, the latest one, I actually have it here with me, Love Lessons. I My favorite book is always going to be my first book, because it was just the process and the feeling you get when you finally publish something. But this book, Love Lessons, was a labor of love as well. I'm very transparent in this book about my love journey, as I call it. And, you know, as I say in the introduction, you know, this book will make you laugh, it will make you cry, but it really gives people a lot to think about. And after I did Love Lessons end of last year, then I also came up with a couples journal for self-care that is really kind of a companion piece. If you read Love Lessons, then there's, like I said, the couples for self-care journal, where, you know, you and your partner work on it together, and really the thought is behind it, you know, you are building a stronger foundation for your relationship. So.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I know you said you had to be off around 7:30. It's about that time, but this is open. Excuse me, open invitation. Anytime you want to come back on.
Okay.
Excuse me. You're part of the Wordshop family, so come on anytime. Okay.
Okay.
And,
Will do.
Don't forget to share your information.
Yeah, I'm typing it up now. So I'll hang out until I do that before I hang up, because then I can't put it in the chat.
Okay. And also, don't forget that we are really excited about the anthology that you're working on.
Yes.
With Writers Wordshop, and I'm gonna try to also get some students from Elizabethtown College, what's his name, Jesse Waters, and because he can drum with some students as well. And so we'll keep talking about that. Life lessons, absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good. Well, stay on as long as you can. And then, you put it in already. Okay, good.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna send this out to Brother Chris and everybody else here, but maybe Chris can put it up and you guys can see the latest issue. You can always go to my page and on Facebook, Nathaniel Gadsden, and see the latest issue of the magazine. It looks really good. Hats off to Sarita Henderson. She does all of the layout and put together everything for us. She's excellent, easy to work with. So if you ever need a good flyer or someone to help you with online magazine work, I highly recommend Sarita Henderson. Okay, all right, good stuff. All right, Terri. And Terri, I am updating some articles from my book. I want to do a second edition. I want to make it bigger and better, and I like the hardbacks. And I plan on doing a book signing in very near future as well. To really start kicking that off again. A number of people have asked me about it, so make it happen. But good work, Terri. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right. And like I said, I will be joined also with Tamika Brown a little bit later. I always say her name wrong. Tamisha, I think it is Brown. Let me see if I can find Brother Chris here. So topics for tonight. There's anything that's coming up that you'd like to mention? I'm really excited about, you call it The Line? That's really, yeah, okay. That sounds, you say you're getting immediate results. It's like, wow, okay. And Brother Chris Thomas, I did just send you, I believe, in Messenger, the online magazine. If you get that, if you could put that up and just show folks a sample of what it looks like, I'd appreciate it. And I'm going to try to send it to Ro right now as well. Ro Brady, and then also Neil. Send it to you too. Okay. And then anybody.
Put October's issue in my newsletter.
Oh, wonderful. You said you have it in there?
No, I said I have to put October's in there.
Oh, October.
This went out today. Yeah, I sent it
good.
to you. It just went out today.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So this is the September issue of the Writers Wordshop, and like I said, hopefully you'll check that out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your newsletter. Absolutely. There you go. Well, anyhow, you can make it larger and everything, but yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. And I think there's a couple other pieces in there too. Yeah, so anyhow. But yeah, so anyone who'd like to submit, you can always say how to submit and all that good stuff, and I will make sure you get the information before we get off the air here tonight. It's really just Writers Wordshop online at gmail.com. Okay, and it'll go to Sarita Henderson. And yeah, so really good stuff, really good stuff. But anyhow, thank you, Chris, for showing that. Appreciate it. And your newsletter, do you have a copy of your newsletter, Ro? Can you send that to Chris and put that up? Maybe we could look at that as well. Or if you can put it up yourself, I don't know how that works. Mhm.
See if I can send it to him.
Okay. And for anyone out there, we're going to do some readings here in a few minutes and also look at some of the fantastic, poets that Brother Chris pulls up for us every week. And look at that as well. Hopefully you'll be able to get that. But we'd love to have you come on if you're interested in joining the Writers Wordshop family. You have people like Neil Owens and Ro Brady, and we have very fine writers such as Wendy Noche Onye, who's a part of this. And speaking of which, we do have coming up some major things in the works. One is our dinner that will take place more than likely in November now. We'll give you the date because we decided to switch the date out once we found out it would be in conflict with the NAACP annual dinner. We don't want to miss that or mess that up. And then also we are doing in October, the third Sunday in October, our storytelling festival that we do every year. And we'll be doing that at the State Museum here in Harrisburg. And that should be also the same time that The Storyteller by Neil Owens is coming out. That's going to be a great month.
I just need Reverend Thomas to put his email address in chat and I can send it to him.
Brother Thomas, can you put your email in chat so Ro can send you that newsletter? And I don't know, I sent it to Ro Brady Productions. Is that the best messenger to send to? There you go, the voice.
Actually, okay, the voice. Okay, yeah. Either that one or Ro Writes for You at Gmail.
That's the one I was looking for. Yeah. In fact, okay. Now this is a messenger, right?
Yeah, that's just my regular email. I started another one for the editing business, which is rbcleanpageediting@gmail.com.
Okay.
So if anybody has any queries about needing an editor, they should reach out to me there.
Okay. I did just send it to you in the Ro Brady
Okay.
Productions.
And I can put that one, the
Okay.
one that I just gave you, just for editing in the chat too.
Good. And I'm going to send this to Neil right now too. Neil, I'm just coming to you right now, my brother. Let me see. There we go. Wait a minute. No, that's not you. Let's see. It's amazing how they have different, the same name but different
Okay.
Usually it's like 3 or 4 men on here. That's not you, is it? No, I don't think that is. Yeah, I gotta find you, but I know you're on there. Okay.
I
Anyhow,
just sent the newsletter.
oh, you did? Okay, you sent the newsletter? Great. Okay. Great. Well, that author showcase, that's same pictures for Neil Owens. Maybe that is you, man. It's like a couple different men on here. Is that you, Neil?
Where?
Like 3 or 4. It's on the messenger.
A messenger?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's me with in the tuxedos with the young guys.
Yeah, look like, yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, I'm gonna send
Yeah,
that
that's
to you
me.
then. Okay, hopefully. Let me know if you got that then. I just sent it to you.
Okay, I'll check it.
Okay. Well, anyhow, so we do have 2 great writers on tonight. We'll make it 3. I'll include myself with that one. But anyhow, Ro, would you like to kick us off tonight and do any readings? And like I said, we will be joined by Tamisha Brown when she's able to come on. And she's going to do some poetry for us tonight as well.
Oh, sure. Well, I don't know. Now that I'm not working, I'm just sort of here. I've been writing a lot. And again, I've been writing about things that, as I said last week, twist my spirit. Just this recent event that happened at Jacksonville, Florida, with the Dollar General, about the 3 people that were killed there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I watched that. And I don't watch the news that often. And sometimes when I do, it's just always something tragic.
Yeah.
So I wrote this one and I actually dedicated to the 3 people that were killed. It's called Familiar. No, it's not called Familiar Spaces. Well, I actually written 2. It's called A Dollar.
Uh-huh.
This was no way general business. 3 for $1, a penny for your life. What's left? Doesn't make a plum nickel worth of sense. AJ just wanted some change in his pockets, a little jingle to pave the way clear and lighten the load. Driving down what she didn't know was a one-way road, not a safe haven, no coverage for peace sakes. Michelle found no way to stop the bitter hate. Why did this have to be her fate? She had no say in the end. Manifestos written, paved in hate. Deshaun was just a young man, finding his own way, not knowing what he would have to pay for just being Black. Some say we have come a long way, but there's been so much we had to pay for the journey. It's been a lonesome road with bumps and valleys, ridges often dug so deep, full of racial sludge, microaggression gravel, and pits full of monistic theories spewed from the lips of those who walk on self-imposed, acrimonious, privileged soil. Let's not let the words progress fall too quickly from our lips. Some of us still ain't too sure whether we have safely arrived to the proper destination called racial justice and truth. Let's back up the buggy and the horse that some of these folks rode in on. Sit down and digest, maybe do a little more protest on some of these things that don't add up, not even $1's worth. And that's dedicated to AJ Lacrette Jr., Michelle Carr, and Deshaun Gallen.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So when would it stop? I'm telling you, wow. You know, and it's amazing when they catch this stuff on tape. I mean, they actually see the guy in action doing this stuff. It's like, wow,
I know.
Woman sitting in the car and he just shoots 9 times into the car. Wow.
Mhm.
Unbelievable stuff. Yeah. But thank you for doing that and remembering those people who are brothers and sisters who die senselessly because someone doesn't like the color of our skin, And there's a lot of baiting out there now too. I noticed that on Facebook, there's a lot of people calling folks animals and all kinds of craziness, trying to get folks to react. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, don't, let them hang out there. Don't. That's where they want us to be in that conversation. Now we got another conversation we're watching unfold. We're gonna keep watching that conversation unfold. What is it? 19 of them on? Go ahead now. We'll watch that play out.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, Ro.
It was.
Yeah, that was very good.
But sadly, we find ourselves writing these same things, giving voice to these things that happen in our community that are so tragic. And it's like, when will we ever move past finding, these, I don't know, mournful muse that we get caught up in writing about because so many things move us.
And it's nothing new. What did they say? There's nothing new under the sun. I was looking at Chucky Pitts. I'll never forget when he brought all these African-American newspapers in from like 1947 that were produced here in Harrisburg. And they had these articles. And the one person that was writing consistently was Dr. Oxley. And Dr. Oxley was my family doctor. I had no idea. He was, older man when I was growing up. And so I had no idea he was ever involved in any of that kind of stuff. But as a young man, he was extremely progressive, writing about the same things we're writing about now. Police brutality, redlining and everything else under the sun that was separating us, amazing. And I'm like, wow, never had that conversation with him, never knew. And of course he was, he had already died and was, gone by the time I discovered these papers, thanks to brother Chucky. Yeah. Anyhow. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and I got the on Facebook. I got the magazine.
Okay.
I got it. Thanks.
Good.
I like the cover. I like that cover.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. She works hard, man, keeping that stuff together. You know, I have to get more on my grind again about, I used to take pictures all the time or try to, document, have that photo documentation of what we do and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, it looks good having that, speaking of the pictures of youth.
Yeah.
Young.
I would love to get you guys involved. I'm gonna see what I can work it out. There's some young men I work with now, thanks to Angela Bates. She hooked me up with this, and these guys are in some kind of facility. It's like I see about 15 of them every time I go in, and all of them, most of them anyhow have the ankle bracelets on. They, have sentences of all types. They're some hard brothers, but they participate. If you bring in the right material, you get them talking. The people that have to kind of keep them in line have to, keep them straight, because anything will fly out their mouth, and sometimes it can be a little disrespectful, but I'm enjoying it. So the one thing I want to do is introduce them. I already told them we're going to try to do some spoken word and try to get these cats who are really serious to really start, unloading and just, because they got a voice, man. If these cats would just use it, and talk about their reality, I think we could learn a lot. And they learn a lot about themselves, quite frankly. So I'm hoping that one day, and one of the things I did recently was had a guy on the phone. And so just like we're doing this right now with the Zoom, we might be able to do that with them. If I can let them know in advance, we can all get together. We can actually talk to them. They could ask you questions. You could read to them, and they could, maybe read some of their stuff. So I hope I can pull that off. I usually meet with them on a Wednesday evening, not usually, always, Wednesday evening. I go at about 5:15, do about an hour, 5:15 to 6:15. So, we'll see if we can make that happen. Yeah. There's so many different groups out there, man. So many different folks who need to tell their story, Yeah. So we will see.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Neil,
a lot of stories out there for people to tell and share.
That's right. A lot.
A lot.
You know what just happened here in Harrisburg, real quick? The school that I graduated from is William Penn High School, and the building's been dormant now for, probably 20 years, if not longer. And it used to be, they made it into a Voltech school, and I don't know when it actually closed down, but anyhow, it's had fires in it, people living in it, all kinds of stuff. Massive building,
I said, I remember teaching there when it was a Votech.
Go ahead now. Okay. I didn't realize you taught there. Okay. Well, I graduated from there in 1969. And we had a wonderful, this is a great time when I think about it. So anyhow, the board had voted to demolish the building. And the reaction was swift and immediate and deep, because everybody's like, well, And so they're claiming it's going to take so much money to refurbish this thing, like $98 million, something like that. And it's like, what? Come on now. But all the different classes have been going up taking pictures in front of the building. And it's like, no one can believe. And people just been coming out of the woodwork. And so you have all these classes that are standing up there in front of the building. But there you go, Brother Chris, thank you, man. There's one, I'm not sure what class that is, but there you go, a whole bunch of folks. I'm sure I know a lot of them. But yeah, folks are going up there. Say it again.
As somebody I know, Jackie.
Okay, yeah, Jackie. Right over there. I see her, Jackie.
Yeah,
one of the Scout Whites, absolutely.
Yep.
And oh man, these glasses of mine these days. But yeah, there's a bunch of folks in there that I know, probably all of them. Yeah, and that looks like, but anyhow, so that's been happening a lot. And the outcry's been, and I just read where they're now rethinking it. There's been some thought about not tearing it down and seeing whether or not they can get a buyer or whatever. But I love the fact that the energy, just brought people together. It wasn't like it was a letter came out or anything like that. People just use the internet and start saying, let's go up there, man. They can tear down our building. And it is our building. So, I hope that someone takes time to write, and I'm going to do it, challenge myself to write what that building meant to us in the school days and that kind of stuff. And why it's important. Why do so many people go up and pose in front of it and oppose the tearing down of it? So we need to chronicle that. But anyhow, I just throw that out there for anybody that's listening. That's right about the William Penn Tigers. And I was always offended that York had a high school called William Penn. you're a Chi. I'm like, what? And we used to play the devil out each other too, basketball, football, and all that stuff. But who's the real William Penn? Well, I think it's Harrisburg, but anyhow, it is what it is. Neil, did you want to read something for us tonight?
I can read I'll read the first 2 pages of this new book that I'm working on.
Okay.
I might have read some of it before. It's the Rise of the Fourth Reich.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good story, man. Go ahead, share that with us.
So this is the first 2 pages of chapter 1. On the top floor of the high-rise building, the voice of a German woman accented over the office intercom. Herr Dorfmeister, an American man is here to see you. Silence held the phone a few seconds before Dorfmeister replied, "Is he alone?" "Ja." "Let him in." The clean-shaven American entered with an unreadable expression. In a brown wool 3-piece business suit, he stood behind a chair facing the executive desk, black leather briefcase in hand. Dorfmeister held a fearless expression as he sat behind the neatly arranged desk. He clutched his fingers and leaned forward in the black high-back leather chair. The morning sun from the uncovered windows was the only light in the room. "Have a seat," Dorfmeister said. The American laid a briefcase beside the chair that faced the desk, sat, and relaxingly crossed his legs with palms on the arms of the chair. After staring at each other, Dorfmeister said, "Are you going to tell me why you're here, or do I have to guess?" "My name is Evan Scott. I'm with the CIA, here on official U.S. business. We have a proposition for you." Dorfmeister's brows lifted over his tight-lidded eyes. "What does the CIA want with me? I don't know where Eichmann is." "We know where he is. It's only a matter of time before the Mossad track him down. I'm here to leave with you as a friend." "A friend?" "Yes, a friend. I don't have any American friends. You do now, and in very high places." Dorfmeister narrowed his eyes in the silence. The voice of Kurt Vale singing Sweet Low on the desk radio became the only sound in the room for several seconds before the American said, "Mr. Dorfmeister, we both are enemies of communism. That is enough to start a friendship." Dorfmeister leaned back. "What do you want from me?" "We need to remove the threat of communism from around the world. Believe you and some of your associates can help." "How?" "By spying for us." "Spying? Why would I spy for the Americans?" "Because we have mutual interests." With his eyes locked on the American, Dorfmeister stood in the black striped double-breasted silk suit, white silk tie, and a white silk handkerchief in the breast pocket. He turned to his left and sauntered to the open pane window, staring at downtown Madrid, and said, "I thought you were here to arrest me for war crimes." "Why arrest you? The Third Reich is falling, and you're one of the party leaders whose face isn't known to the world. That's very beneficial to us. While most of the influential persons in your party stepped out from the shadows when Hitler paraded through Paris, you, among a few others, were smart enough to stay out of the light. No one is looking for you but us, and you can help us in our fight against communism." Dorfmeister faced the American. "Do you know why I'm wearing this Hugo Boss suit?" Mr. Scott tightened his lips. With a stern expression, Dorfmeister took a few steps closer. "He was a member of the Nazi Party and designed the SS uniform. That is where my loyalty lies. Under a different name, we share your loyalty." I'll stop there.
Right. Man, and that's the one you're working on.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Good voice. I always like to hear a good writer who knows how to craft well. Both of you really know how to do that. Good stuff, I'm telling you. Good stuff. And you say Thoughtmeister, is that what his name is?
His name Dorfmeister, yeah.
Dolph, that's right. I could not
Dorf, yeah.
hear that. Okay, Dorfmeister.
Yeah, it's you know, the CIA did a lot of you know, they brought in a lot of Nazis at the end of World War II as spies. And they went, a lot of them were in Spain plotting the Fourth Reich. And the CIA recruited them and brought them into America. They were spying for them through communism. It's a bunch of stuff, man, that U.S. did.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd be shocked, man. You'd be shocked to find out some of the stuff that they did.
Hey. Well, you know, one thing I like about both of you is that you do research of a period. And so you don't just write, but you actually, you know, you write with a sense of realism in your work. I know Ro does, I know you do as well, Neil. And it's powerful stuff because, you know, it's plausible, first off, and you're like, wow. But also you had that wow factor, that aha, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming kind of thing. And so that's good stuff, man, you know. And anyone who's not even a history buff might still find that very interesting because of the way the story is crafted, you know? Yeah.
And how many people knew Hugo Boss designed the SS uniform?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to tell you both now, just in case I need your help. You know how you Google things on you look up and research things on Google? And it was funny because I was saying this to my writing group today. I said, okay, I've been on here 3 times trying to find a poison that's undetectable and that's fast acting for this
You got call Putin for that.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I keep Googling this, and then I was like, oh, I need to go incognito because my research is so wacky about trying to, like, one of my characters, her husband was a crop duster. And she breaks out of the insane asylum, but she kills her victims using the crop dust chemicals. So I'm trying to find a poison that was used, well, a pesticide that was used in 1957, but the ones that were used did not become active in the United States until the 60s. So I had to go back and change my entire year because I could not find a pesticide that was fast acting and undetectable in 1957. So I had to change the year to 1962 because that's when this pesticide that's fast acting that they used to use was actually used in the United States.
How about those? Well, okay, that'd be used in the United States.
Yeah, and that was readily available to farmers or to crop dusters.
And you know, some writers, authors would not go through that process that you did. They'll just go ahead and just put it in there in 1957.
Well, I mean, I think when you write,
but I'm glad you did that because that's good. That's the realism. That's the piece.
Yeah, and even the setting, because I'm writing about a period of time where there was an insane asylum in Goldsboro, North Carolina, that only took Black people back then. You know, so then it took me so long because these 2 women escape from that insane asylum and they go to another town, but I literally had to find a town thinking about, like, okay, they're escaping, so more than likely they're doing this on foot. Maybe they hitchhike or maybe they steal a car, but it can't be such a long distance that the possibility of them ever getting there, the traveling time. So I'm Googling, like, okay, how many miles is it from this place to this place? And then narrowing down, like, okay, that's a possibility if it were just 3 hours instead of.
So remember, remember Boxcar Willie? Have you looked at Boxcar Willie? He mailed himself. He mailed himself to a place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities of different ways people got to where they needed to get to, you know?
So, but that was the other thing, you know, so I started thinking about the railroad and how far the local railroad station was from where this, where the setting was.
Mhm.
So, but I say all that to think about, like, when you are writing historical anything,
Mhm.
one of the most important things you need to do is, like, you can fictionalize a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but your basics, you'll have those readers who'll go back and say, well, that couldn't have possibly happened because that wasn't invented at that particular time.
Right.
So one of the questions that popped in my mind immediately is, does the poison have to be an authentic poison, or is it something that you could have made up to be a part of the story that just was, like, I mean, this is fiction, that's fiction. Why can't the
Mhm.
poison be fiction? Just a
I
thought.
mean, yeah, that's true, but there are some facts that I'm a researcher, I really just enjoy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, yeah, I could just make up the poison, but it fascinated me to find that
Absolutely.
this particular poison, like a small sip of it was fatal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there on Google like, oh, this might not be a good thing that I've been sitting here for 15 minutes trying to research this. If there's anybody out there watching.
Well, when you say you researched it, though, did you just use Google mechanisms, or did you actually talk to anybody? I mean, I'm just wondering how far out would you go?
No, for this one, I just use Google. Now I have, like, when I did A Warm Heart of Steel, that was talking to, people who had actually lived in that period of time that were Southerners that were living in the Jim Crow era and what that was like for them,
Yeah.
So I think it really all depends on how, like you said, how deep do you really want to go? Do you want to make the base of it, factual? Like when I did A Warm Heart of Steel, I talked a lot about a lot of the music that was happening at that time. And I wanted that music to be factual because I wanted somebody to read it and to realize that, African Americans had such great history.
Yeah, good stuff. And Neil, I know you do research as well. So are you, what mechanisms do you use as well?
I mean, a lot like Ro. I mean, I do that too. I'm like her when it comes. I like to do a lot of research on my stories and try to get everything right there within that time period and all. So I use Google, and then there's just things that I've learned through reading history and different things that I can piece in. But a lot of things I'll pick up. I'll Google and go through a lot of that too.
Yeah.
And there is the Library of History. There's a bunch of websites that basically are databases of particular, periods of history that I go to. I have a whole long list of them.
Okay, that's fantastic. Hey, let's do this. Let's have Brother Chris bring up the first video for tonight. We've already exhausted a good hour here, but it's been good. I've enjoyed this conversation and appreciate Terri Martinez coming on. And so let's do the first video for tonight. We will be joined by Tamika Brown very shortly.
She just joined us, Dr. Nate. If you wanted to greet her before you went to the video, not sure if you wanted to or not.
I'm sorry, say that again, brother.
Tamika just joined us. Not sure if you wanted to greet her before we went into the video or not, sir.
Let's do that, please. Yeah, thank you.
So you may want to ask her to turn her camera on.
Oh, yeah, Tamika. Yeah. Can you turn your camera on for us, please? And also unmute yourself. I don't know if you are muted. See, I can't see anybody that's coming on. So, Brother Chris, oh, there she goes. Okay, yeah, there you go. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, okay, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fantastic. We have on Ro Brady and Neil Owens. And this is Tamika Brown.
Hello.
I would say Tamika. Am I saying it right?
You know you got my name right, Mr. Nate.
I know. Sometimes every time I see the spelling, I want to say something different. I'm like, wait a minute.
Sometimes you call me Tamisha.
I know. I sure do. But it's so good to see you. Hey, listen, we're going to do Brother Chris always brings up videos for us. We're going to do a video. And then when we come back in, if you would be willing to, join us and give us some of your word and all that kind of stuff. We're so glad that you joined us tonight. So we're going to start with a video right now, Brother Chris Thomas, and we'll come back with Tamika Brown.
Unisakot presents My Dream. Welcome.
What the hell?
I have a dream that will never fail. My present situation notwithstanding, it's a mere passing cloud. Every mighty king was once a crying baby. Every great tree was once a tiny seed. Every tall building was once on paper, and so is my dream. This journey seems so long, yet I will not waver. The path are stones all over, but I will not give up. Things don't seem to work my way. I will never be in dismay, for there's this one thing I know. Every day of my life is a page of my history. Every step that I take is a move to my glorious destiny. And so I dream my dream. It's not where I am, but where I'm going that matters. My future has nothing to do with my past or present. The hard times I've had make me stronger and better. The inner courage within me doesn't roar, it just whispers. And so I dream my dream. Thank you.
Sixth grade. Come on now. Sixth grade. I see we've been joined by somebody else too. How you doing? We have another person there. Okay. Hello. Can you hear us?
Yes,
Hey, that's my sister. How you doing? Long time no see.
I know. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right. Well, we'll let you get yourself situated there, and then we'll introduce you. Introduce yourself. Okay.
Tammy Fry.
There you go, Tammy. Okay, you good? All right, Tammy, thank you. Well, listen, we're going to go to Tamika Brown. She's our special guest tonight, but she's really just part of the family. You know, Writers Wordshop family, been with us for a long time. And Tamika, we're so glad to hear your voice again. You know, tell us a little bit about yourself for people who don't know you, and then we'll introduce Tammy as well. Okay, Tamika?
Sure. So my name is Tamika Brown. That is my government name. I go by also the stage name Genesis the Poet when I am in the poetry circuits. I am a lover of God and humanity. I am just so many things. I don't even know, but I mean, at my core, I'm just me. I write poetry. I've been writing it ever since childhood and started sharing it basically not too long ago in adulthood. And I just appreciate that it has been with me all my life. And I'm also grateful to be able to share it publicly when I do.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so glad you're on. And Tammy, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm just Tammy Fry. I always support Nathaniel, Gadsden, and Pat. Love you guys to the moon and back. You showcased me when I went to Africa and did my interview years and years ago. And I'm just here to support my girl, Tamika.
All right, fantastic. But you are a great spiritual sister in our community. And it's so good to see you. It's been so long. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's all right. Good stuff. Glad to see you here. And I'm glad you're supporting Tamika tonight, okay? And this is Neil Owens. Neil is out of North Carolina. And Neil's an excellent writer. He's a novelist. And you'll get to meet him in just a minute here. And then there's Ro Brady. And Ro, is from Harrisburg, of course. Well, she's actually from Pittsburgh, Harrisburg. Been here for years, but now she's down in Washington, D.C. doing great things. Nice. And so really glad to have Ro on. So anyhow, Tamika, this is your time, and we're so glad that you're on. And I understand you said maybe like 3 poems or whatever for us tonight. Why don't you set them up and tell us about them, and then just go and share with us tonight, okay?
Absolutely. So thank you very much. It's good to see everybody's faces. Tammy, thank you for always being a wonderful friend.
Right.
Ro, I could not begin to say enough about you, and it's nice to see your face. I miss you being here in Harrisburg. And Mr. Neil Owens, I have not met you, but it's nice to see you, and congratulations on your success as an author. And of course, Mr. Nate, you just you just are like literally family to me, you and Pat. So thank you.
Same to you.
So Thank you. So I'm gonna show y'all something. So today, y'all, you might be wondering why I have this. Today is my birthday, and I had, thank you. And so I don't always do things big. I don't live very much online. I live mostly offline and quietly, but I'm beginning at this great 49-year-old age in my life to learn how to celebrate myself, and that you don't always have to be humble to be, alive, or to be someone who loves God. So today I went out to eat with my friend Tammy and a few other girls, and there was a wonderful woman named Lil who made this crown for me, and it felt so good to actually sit there and be loved and acknowledged and loved on. It was just so great, so great. So thank you. But the reason why I mentioned that it's my birthday, and the reason why I put this crown on, is I actually put a post out, and I'm starting to share my words little by little on Facebook, for instance. And I wrote something as a celebration of myself earlier today, not realizing Miss Lil was going to give me this crown later. So I'm going to read that. It's not quite a poem, but it is poetic. This is just happy birthday to me. Thank you. And it says, "Good morning, God. Thank you for 49 years of living, laughing, and loving. Thank you for 49 years of family, friendships, and sometimes even hard lessons. Year 49 is not a number to be taken lightly. I am almost a half a century old and absolutely unashamed of who I am. There are those who believe aging equals less value, yet we find old diamonds, objects, and artifacts priceless. I smile at the ignorance behind such statements because life humbles the ego through time and experience. I pray God gives them the grace to endure the lessons. The modesty of being a woman of worth in today's world goes a long way, but a little pride and celebration of self is okay too. This is my life after all, and no one can live it for me. I'm a walking library of wisdom and knowledge. I'm a living, breathing representation of love. I am an ever-evolving example of welcome imperfections. I am finally at a place in my life where I can boldly acknowledge that I am enough and God ain't make no mistakes on me. Finally, I've conquered my inner critic and make no excuses for my state of mind, body, or heart because of all that I have endured to stay in the game. I'm just fine where I am and forever grateful for where I'm going. Am I cutting out?
I can hear you.
Thank you.
I can hear you well too.
Thank you. Okay. A couple people are frozen, I think. So I just want to make sure it's not my internet. That's cool. All right. So grateful for where I'm going. Father God, you have been so good to me and sent me here on this earth, being both the question and answer to myself. I am in awe and forever deeply in love with you. I turn inward to my inner child and thank you for being the foundation from which this grown woman has emerged. All the tools are within me. My inner journey has been just as meaningful as every footstep I've taken in this life. Every word I've ever spoken still hangs in the ether around me, so I choose my words wisely these days. I have experienced beautiful things and learned over time to see myself to be just as beautiful as the moments I've witnessed. I am both my harshest critic and my biggest supporter. I've cried on the shoulder of trusted friends and moved mountains with prayer on behalf of those who were stuck along the way. I'm here where you placed me, God, and I am grateful. This is an entire army within me that rises up to support every wish and command that I set to accomplish. I am not alone. I will help those who need to be helped and lean on the ones who can help me. And I'll never get the two confused again. My inner child and I bow to you in humble gratitude. At this phase in life, we both desire healing and a lot of play. My inner child and I sometimes switch places, and I am as young as her again. I take advantage of those phases and have unapologetically messy moments. The key to all things is balance over indulgence. The approach to anything we do in this life is like being a gardener. You cannot plant seeds in dead ground, or you waste your time, money, and you go hungry. You cannot till someone else's land and forget to care for your own. Once their fruit is harvested, they will forget to invite you to the table. Expect some bruises, tears, and rain during the process. That's how you know the roots are growing and the fruit will be good. You must weed your garden often. Weeds, like the wrong people, will choke the life out of you and destroy your crops. Most importantly, don't walk away from your hard work before the harvest happens. Stay in the game. Thank you for this life, God, and all the lessons along the way. Thank you for 49 years of living.
Oh, yeah. You said you wrote that today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, come on now.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, y'all.
Oh, man, that was beautifully said, too. Miss
Thank you
that
very
voice. You have a great poetic voice. Let's put it that way. You're a great writer, so.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well,
So I'm just going to keep
that's a
going.
blessing. No, please. Yes, this is your time. Huh?
Okay. So let's see. I'll read this poem since this is specifically about turning older.
Anybody that's
Okay,
just
here we
tuning in, you got it. Okay.
Okay. So this poem is, I just call it, I'll wear readers now, reader glasses. I'll wear readers now, and my hair is turning gray. Got to take them off to see things far away. Got to put them back on when reading what the good book has to say. Stretch and moan a little more in the morning when I awake. I once danced across stages, telling character stories with my lips. That was just 3 or 4 years ago. So much has changed in so little time. Today, these lips and I have learned that nothing we have ever said is as important as the silence that allows me to hear the Holy Spirit. I wear readers now, and my hair is turning gray. And I'm going to own this role with as much pride as the ones I've done before. Sure, I can dye it or wear a wig. It's all just illusion anyway. I'll wear me as I am for a while. No one ever tells you how much grief ages you. No husband's arm to stabilize me when I stumble. But I've learned the unwavering power of my own walk. And I've witnessed the impact of my words when I talk. I ache and moan a little more when I lean into the morning sun. It's okay though. Nothing in life comes free, not even wisdom. I wear readers now, and my hair is turning gray. That's all right though. I'm going to keep loving me anyway.
Go ahead. I like that.
Thank you.
We all have readers too. Lord have mercy. That words come in handy, don't they?
They still don't work.
That's right.
Let's see here. I said like 3 poems, didn't I?
Oh, just go ahead.
All right. So I have another poem that I'll do. So I have this fun little poem that I want to do, and I did not practice it before I got on. So I might stumble a little bit because it might be a cuss word or two. All this hashtag shenanigans. This is the other part of me because I am her too. I'm learning how to just live sometimes. And it's a poem, but it's really intended to be a song eventually, like a little rappy kind of thing. It's called It's Weird Out Here. So y'all, for real, it's weird out here for a Gen X girl. I got readers to see with no time to read. Used to get looks and stares. Now they don't turn my way. Youth in a box when my hair turned gray. Never treated my body like a trophy or prize. But while I'm alive, you're going to catch this vibe. Booty always been fat, but now my waist is thicker. RIP to my abs. Pour out a little liquor. That's all right though, because my face still fine. And these days I've earned every sip of red wine. Sometimes 808s. It depends on my mood. I make it do what it do in a wine glass too. When I'm feeling myself, I might sway my hips and take ladylike sips because I'm classy and a tiny bit hood, but a whole lot more bougie. A little bit of mischief, but I'm aiming for holy. Got the rhythm of the ghetto and I walk in the suburbs. What they call that, we call that bougetto. I can work it and twerk it, but my daughter is watching. Got to teach her young that ain't how queens walk. iPhone on my hip, car with navigation, but I still get lost on the highway exits. Slow down, world. You're moving too fast, man. I just figured out the Dewey Decimal System. Too old to start over, too young to retire. My boss 22 and he told me I'm fired. Man, it's weird out here. These times are strange. Used to change my Uber driver's diapers in daycare. My husband's in heaven. We had a good life together. I miss the way his hands tapped out beats on the table. Sometimes when I'm writing and revising my lyrics, I can still hear his voice yelling, "Hey," in the background. Now, dating is hard. If you want something real, they just hide behind screens, say, "I want you," then pill, or try to book flights for a one-night stand. Don't know your last name and they won't hold your hand. I'm so glad I knew love before the digital era, because what they call love today is so scary. Try to tell them about it, but they be like, "Baby, chill, just toke on this smoke and enjoy the backdraft." And I'm like, nah, took me too long just to pick up my pen and fall asleep again. Man, for real, it's weird out here. Ain't hardly nobody natural no more. They got the nips and tucks for the swipes and likes. The people love it. I'm like, that's not her. Do you, sis? But watch your back, because the same ones that love you just might chop your neck. It's weird out here. Every hero knows that they be tossing souls like you're disposable, and they don't even stay for the burial no more. Ain't never been one to crave love from the crowd. Lord knows the way of the world ain't it. I just stretch and grow and stack my soul to reach the great I am. It's the only road home. And then it kind of fades out. It's called It's Weird Out Here. Something a little fun. Something a little fun. It can't all be sad.
That's right. You need to revisit some of that. That's a nice flow you got there.
Yeah, that was.
I
That was
actually,
great.
thank you. I actually have the music, the voice backgrounds. I'm just looking for the right person to help me produce it, so they can take the music in my head and translate what I heard when I wrote these words. I'm gonna do like maybe 2 more quick poems, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead now.
Thank you. So this one poem I'm going to do is about, I can't speak without ever paying homage to my husband in heaven. And this particular poem talks about what it feels like to have gone through this experience and to still be in it with Denise. This past August made 5 years.
Wow.
And I thought I'd have a life that was just unforgettable by now, but you know, time and experience shows you that it takes a little bit longer to heal from somebody that you love for 20 something years. So this poem is called The Widow's Rock. All right. Sometimes there are more widows than there is wailing, because our daily tasks keep us quiet until there is a gathering of somber-faced women. We find each other out there somehow, despite the noise of the crowd. Maybe it's the undertone of despair only we can sense, masked with too much perfume. Happiness in a bottle? I thought I smelled you. Recently, I found a box of my grandmother's old belongings and found her perfume too. I didn't know what that scent was before, but now I love her even more. Sprayed it in the air and smelled the weight of her lost loves. Time is a taunting bully to echo our losses even long after we're gone. I want to leave this lifetime with a happier song. Shoulders drooped, face as somber as the winter is long. I look up and let out a deep wail from the back of my throat. Not too loud so as not to disturb the house. The raw, exposed wooden crossbeams of my basement ceiling stifles my sadness, so my cries don't leave the room, and my tears know what to do. And this damp space among the cobwebs is a safe place for ugly pain like this. There is a spider above my head. He will live today before I have become sick of death. He is like the rest of the world, busy going about its business while the widows dance alone. I sway and rock and rock and rock a while. The widows rock. A new dance that circumstance has taught me. The spirit of my grandmother's hand on my shoulders steadies my rhythm. Her presence is strong still after all these years, yet somehow mine is fading. Time is truly an illusion. We are too young for this pain. They say don't question God. I say, why has this happened to us? Our backs have not yet strengthened for the task. Babies bench pressing the emotional weights of gods. I guess they are running out of players for the game and we were up next for the job. This might mean behind the scenes that heaven is falling apart. Why send the undertrained into the arms of war? I wonder what roles the next generation will play, who will sway alone, and who will smell my perfume.
Mm, mm.
That's
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I got to know your husband a little bit, and so I remember him distinctly, and I know you guys had a very special relationship. So God bless. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Mm.
Thank you. And thank you for speaking at his memorial service, Nate.
Thank you for asking.
The way God weaves things together over time, we never know when we say hi to somebody for the first time, what that hello will mean, if it means hi and bye, or if it means hi forever. And I never thought in a million years when I started sharing poetry at your workshop that you would be the one that would stand up and speak on that day. And I am forever infinitely grateful. And this road, the day that I met you, was when I was doing poetry at Nate's workshop. And then you said, there's a character I'm writing about and I think you're her, come audition. And I did, and I ended up acting, and I didn't even know that ability was in me. Like, you just helped to add so much depth to who I thought I was as a person. And then of course, things happened with my husband shortly after, and there you were the whole time. And God delivers people when we don't even know, like he just brings them in advance. And you don't even know what role they're going to play in your life. So I just want y'all to understand the gratitude I have.
Thank you.
So thank you. Last poem. This poem is about being a giver. And this is kind of like, I think of my grandmother when I wrote this poem because of who she was. But strangely today, when I was at dinner with my friends, somehow my grandmom came up, and one of the ladies at the table said how she knew my mom when she was a kid, and was talking about who she was, what she did, how she interacted with people. And she said to me, it's funny because some of the stuff you do reminds me of your grandmother. And it wasn't until she said that I realized she was absolutely right. I never realized that connection. So this poem is called Big Mama, and it's for the givers. Givers are like the big mama of humanity. In the Black community, she is the elder of the family, lovingly seen as round and pudgy with tired shuffling feet. She's always smiling and singing, or preaching hard Bible lessons at the kitchen table over warm peach cobbler. Never had much, but her house robe comes with clever pockets. There was always 10 or a few dollars in them for the begging hands constantly reaching. She feeds all in her tribe who are hungry on God's budget. She's always in the kitchen cooking, or in her bedroom sleeping, and exhausted naps with the doors slightly open in case someone needs her. She ignores the pains of her body taking over and wonders who will feed her tribe when she is gone. Her home smells like a healing potion, a mix of dust and hard to reach corners that we don't discuss. Slow cooked Sunday dinners, joint pain lotion, old frying grease on the stove. So much work for meals she's always too tired to eat in the end. Givers are like this, constantly cooking and feeding the hearts of humanity for people who never care to stay and wash the dishes. Being in their presence is like feeling the soft folds of Big Mama's arms when you are hugging, or embracing after a long, hard cry and taking in her scent. Yes, givers are like Big Mamas. There are less and less of them in this selfish world. So the few who remain are tired, and you can't help but to wonder what will happen to humanity when the last Big Mama has been called to take the final uninterrupted nap that she has earned.
I got to make a comment.
Yes.
Ro was involved in the project. She actually directed the play that Maria James put on, Maria Chow. I said Maria James Chow put on down at the Gambit Theater. And so it was Maria's vision, her poetry, and then Ro, put that whole bad boy together. And it was just a fantastic production. So when I'm listening to you tonight, I'm thinking of Ntozake Shange when she did her choreo poem, and I'm thinking that you probably, because you have a voice like Ro does, you need to take that and put it into a production. You really, because everything you talk about has so much realism to it. And it just rings of Ntozake and all the other great writers that have come this way, like Ro and Wendy Noche on your storyteller. You guys are storytellers.
Yes.
And I listen to your poetry, all night, because I can relate to it. You talk about Big Mama, you talk about the husband, all that, your birthday, come on. That was just really good stuff. And so think about it. I just hope that you'll, continue to write, because you write strong. And one day think about having that, not just your book, but that stage production.
Thank you so very much. Ro, can we work on that?
Yeah, well, yes. And it's funny because it's your birthday, but I'm celebrating. It is just so good to hear your voice again.
Thank you.
It is so good,
Thank you.
and that time that we spent together, I will always treasure, and I shared this with you before, that I always think it's God's blessing that he rains down on me when somebody allows me into the intimacy of their space. And you did that.
Yeah.
So for that, we will always be sort of joint at the hip.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I'm excited that I'm hearing your voice tonight. So I'm over here celebrating.
All right. It was so funny. I remember that play was up at Hack, and I wasn't able to come for the entire thing. So I came in just in time to see you and what's her name? She's a teacher. She's a retired school teacher. And you two were doing a scene from the play. And I came in just in time.
Glinda.
Yeah, what's her name again? Glinda. And so you two had, and I said, wow, it was a powerful scene. And so then you took a break. And I'm walking down the hall, and your husband walks right up to me and said, "Isn't that girl something?" Talking about you. And that was what he said. And that's when we just looked at each other and we was like, wow. And then we both, and I had to go. But that was the last thing he said to me. "Isn't that girl something?" And boy,
you gave me the best gift. Thank you.
That was a powerful, powerful piece though. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good writing and good acting.
Yes.
On both
Absolutely.
sides.
Thank you. Wow, I'm overwhelmed with today. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. And then you got your buddy over here, Tammy Fry. Come on now. So good to see you, Tammy. So good to see you. Yes, indeed.
Oh, I love you, Nate. I love you and Pat so much.
Oh man, and you're still here in Harrisburg?
Yes, sir, I am.
This little dusty town, and we still can't run into everybody. Isn't that something?
Hey, I enjoy every day above ground.
There you go.
Every day that God is working in my life.
Amen.
And we are here to be a light in the world of darkness.
Yes, you are.
And
yes, you are.
I appreciate Harrisburg.
Right on. I do too. I love Harrisburg, quite frankly. Yeah, I have many times I could move that. Not
you, Nate, I just want to say this. You and your wife are pioneers of letting everybody shine.
Oh, hey.
And letting everybody eat at your table.
Well, God is good.
And we love you.
It's actually his table. We say
yes, God's table.
Say I'm just one beggar trying to help another beggar find a piece of bread. That's what we're doing. But this is good stuff tonight. Yeah, this is great stuff. Real blessing. And thank you for taking on such short notice too. I just contacted you and say, hey, and here she is, both of you. And then you bring my buddy on too. I see something here. Let me see. Let me grab my little bifocals out. I can't read that. What's it saying? It says something about oh, Dr. Snowden is joining us. Okay, Dr. Dan, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm glad that they, Brother Chris pulled that up. I think he was trying to pull that up before, but Sister Tamika was reading. Do you know Dan Snowden, Tamika? Do you remember Dan by any chance?
I do remember him, okay. the Dr. Poet.
Dr. Poet, there you go, there you go. And I'm just glad he's on tonight. So, we'll be hearing from Dan tonight as well. Ro did read a piece for us earlier, and I don't know if she's prepared to read another thing tonight. If you have something, Ro, and then I know Dr. Dan will read something for us, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, sure.
Okay. And then also, Brother Chris always pulls up some wonderful part. I have to comment, the young lady that we saw right before Tamika started reading was only a 6th grader. and I really like her delivery and the content. You know, she was great. Obviously from Africa, and I'm not sure which part, but that was great. Yeah, really good, especially a sixth grader. Come on now. And she had movement to it, and definitely, I mean, she owned that poem. That was good. I'm going to ask if we can have Ro read a piece, and then Dr. Dan is here with us, and then we're going to have another video if we can, and then we'll come back to our special guest Tamika tonight, and just hear a little bit more from her in terms of whatever she wants to say or share or whatever. And do you have a book out yet, Tamika?
No, sir, I do not.
So we're going to
You
have to
need to.
Yes, we get you one. We had Terri Martinez on earlier, and she has her own publishing house right here in Harrisburg. And so you need to hook up with Terri Martinez, okay? And she really is working with some really great people and really making it happen for her. And so, yeah, we'll talk more about that after the show. But I want you to talk to Terri. And then, there's other people out there too. I just want you to, be encouraged. That's all. So if you decide to go with her, great. If not, hopefully you'll be encouraged. Ro Bradley is up, and this is one of our favorite authors because she just knows how to put a story together. Ro, if you don't mind.
Well, while here in Washington, it's a little bit bigger than Harrisburg. So you find more of the homeless people. And every day I find myself venturing off to like another spot that I'm learning my way through. So the other day, I am the bibliophile at heart, so I wanted to go to the public library. I found my way there, and I was sitting in front of the window, and a woman came, and she was carrying all of her belongings on a grocery cart. She parked her cart alongside the window of the library, and then she took one bag off. And inside that bag, I could see it was either a pair of scissors or like a little switchblade, like she was protecting herself. She took that bag and put it over her shoulder, and then she came into the library. So this is what was derived from just watching. Oh, now the door is ringing. Wait.
Okay. And it's live on the internet. But anyhow, you are tuned into The Voice, 17104 Harrisburg. I want to thank Reverend Chris Thomas and Melissa Thomas. They just celebrated 10 years of marriage. Okay, and then they're our platform every single week. And we really appreciate the work that they do and the love that they share with one another. Ro Bradley, it's back to you.
I had to go answer the door for Theo's attendant. It's called Familiar Spaces. Nails bitten back to the quick on hands that nervously look for tiny pieces of rest found in familiar community spaces. Spaces filled with voices telling babies to hush, talking lowly of work done for small time pay, sitting amongst books neatly stacked on story shelves, waiting for readers to come. She stopped by with all her belongings resting in grocery store bags, speaking to unseen visitors, thinking about the meals that she had and the pillows where her head once rested for sweet dreams to come. Now the sidewalk welcomes her to its uncomforting spaces. The unhome ramble, not freely, but paying the price that no paycheck can ever cover. I sit behind the glass windows, looking out with full eyes at all that she's lost or never had to hold. Wondering, resting at the back of my unswallowed tears, the nails bitten down to the quick on hands that find no rest in community spaces.
Yeah, I like the way you capture the scene that you set up for us. You just captured that. And then can't you just see, it's almost like watching a movie when you read that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. And then the switchblade and the scissors kind of thing, protecting yourself. Wow. Think about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Took
And
me
the
back to
imagery was
late-
strong.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I was just kind of echoing what you said. Her imagery is strong. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound, but it kind of reminds you of how we people of color, it's already in us. When Ro writes her stories, you know, before movies happened, before we were just storytellers around fire and all we had was our imagery. And you had to be a very good storyteller to create the images. And the thing that I think is most beautiful is when you do the type of writing that Ro does, it's strange because I don't know if you've ever done this, Ro, but if you ever tell your stories and just ask some of the readers, I wonder if they would have similar thoughts and ideas and visions of the characters. You ever read a book and then you go see the movie and sometimes it actually echoes what you visioned in your mind. You're like, how is that possible? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like somewhere in there's a spiritual connection to it.
So having said that, two things I want to mention very quickly. Then we're going to go to Dr. Dan Snowden here. And that is that on the third Sunday in October, we have our annual storytelling festival. And last year we, really concentrated on the BIPOC community, and we'll do that again this year. All voices are always welcome, but the overarching, vision will be that the voice of the BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color. And it will be at the State Museum. And we usually do a like 1 to 4. It's actually, we open up at 12 with the vendors and all that. And then we start the readings around 1. And it's always a wonderful time. In fact, 2 years ago, we had like 25 different presenters. And they came from all different, genres, walks of life. Last year, we had about 15 presenters. And they were strong. And we try to keep it down. We even had the African drummers and dancers from the Winneman and from Solomon Studio. So anyhow, look forward to that. I hope that all of you will want to participate. And we're trying to figure out a way to get our people who come from different parts of the country, like Lazille Powder and others who, come on to also be a part of that gathering. Lazille actually came down earlier this year for Juneteenth, I think it was. And she's out of New York City, and she's also from Trinidad. So she does a lot of writing about her growing up in Trinidad. So anyhow, that's one thing. The other thing real quickly is I just tried to send it to both you and Tammy, and that is our latest edition of our Writers Wordshop magazine. That's an online magazine, and I sent it to you in Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So see if you can check that out. And we're looking for submissions. It comes out monthly, and it's done by Sarita Henderson. And she's always, we send submissions in. You just send it to Writers Wordshop online at gmail.com. Writers Wordshop online at gmail.com. And if it doesn't get in the next month, it'll get in. We try to keep it down. We don't want to make it too too wordy or too big. But if you submit something, we pretty much guarantee it will be published. Maybe not the next month, but the following month or something like that. So keep that in mind. We'll send you some things. But I hope that you enjoy the magazine as you've seen it, and we'll submit something. At this time, let's go to Dr. Dan Snowden. Dr. Dan, you never come on where we can see you, but that's okay. We can hear you. And if you'll do a poem for us, I'd appreciate it, man.
Certainly. Now, one might think that the whole concept of paper pushing or office work is really dull, and you couldn't really, there's no room for creativity out of it, but I have one here called Document Reviews Gone Wrong that talks about that sort of thing.
Okay.
When it comes to processing paperwork, all those involved should be working in sync. Yet sometimes this simple activity can be a lot harder than some may think. Those who create subject documents are always first in line for the reviews. Once this action has come to completion, the papers go to the next avenues. From this point, things begin going awry as the documents continue en route, scrutinized by later stage reviewers, some to whom deadlines appear just plain moot. This scenario is problematic, since the documents are ripe for the post within 2 weeks before big meetings on the main website to be seen by most. During reviews, some documents are lost, even when there are sound directions in place. Such scenarios require correction to keep the document reviews on pace. Since there exists some dysfunction at hand with the standard paperwork reviews, one way to address this unique matter is to approach it with something new. Those who begin the paperwork reviews should also incorporate some tracking, as some others involved in the process in responsibility are lacking. At all stages of paperwork reviews, the document's status will be charted, in the interest of knowing where things stand, as well as when the paper is departed. To be fair, all parties must be engaged. When their turns come for document reviews, these persons must then act accordingly in order to avoid the hold-up blues. Yet this task is not always followed through. From when the paperwork first changes hands, some subsequent reviewers do little to meet the document deadline demands. Thus, it became necessary for the first reviewers to play nursemaid to others looking at the paperwork, making sure that it is never delayed. This need for first document reviewers to inform the rest of their work details absolves them from responsibilities which can lead to paperwork review fails. If so-called professional personnel must be prompted into doing their task, then why are these people even involved in document reviews, as one may ask? In order to resolve the dilemma, making sure paperwork flows along, constant vigilance appears to be key to ending document reviews gone wrong.
Good stuff as always. Your rhyming scheme is always right on the money, man. Way to go. Yeah. You know, and
Oh, yeah.
to you also,
That's
Dan.
actually what I do nowadays, because, well, now that we have a system in place at the job where tracking is all done electronically, whenever that paperwork moves, I'll know about it and where it is and when it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to go.
All right, good stuff. Well, again, I would like to encourage you, man. We said this many times before to, think about being published, because you've amassed a big body of poetry at this point. And, and I just know that you have enough to put together in a book. And so, keep it in mind, think about it. We had Terri Martinez on earlier, and she has T-Dub Publishing, who's right here in Harrisburg, and she can certainly help you, think that process through if you're interested in doing it. And by the way, she makes it very, very affordable, very affordable. So, it is what it is. We'll talk more about that. And Tamika, I truly want you to think about that as well, because, wow, strong stuff, everybody, strong stuff. I'm going to ask Brother Chris if he doesn't mind pulling up. I'm reading anything, then I'm going to not read anything. But if you can find one of the pieces, Chris did some videos for me about a year ago now, and I guess it's been maybe not quite. But anyhow, that's a project we hope to get back to. And he did a great job. He just took some of my poems, put them to some images and different things that he's put together. And so I'm hoping he'll pull up one tonight to just kind of show an example of what we did, and have some other thoughts in mind, Brother Chris. And so we'll get together again and, think that through. But Tamika, and while Chris is finding that, did you have another poem you'd like to share with us tonight? You're muted right now. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do another poem. I have a question for you though.
Yes.
So I have this one thing that I want to share, but it kind of involves a little bit of song, and I'm not a singer by any stretch of the imagination. So how many people see this when you post it, Nate?
Well, it's not posted. This is live.
So it's live. So how many live views do you get?
We get a bunch of views. And by the way, we keep sharing this over and over and over.
So I'm gonna skip the singing today.
So what we do is and Brother Chris can tell us even better. But we put it on Facebook. It's on Facebook Live right now. And then I believe there's other platforms as well, like what is it? I always want to say Netflix. What is Instagram? I know. But anyhow, even YouTube, I think we have the ability to be on YouTube and all that. So no, people see it. Yeah, people hear it. Don't be worried about you singing, and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Every now and then I noticed that, and Chris and I will talk more about this, is sometimes you get flagged if you like play something original or whatever. I don't know how that whole thing works. I have no idea what I've ever done to be flagged, but twice I've been told, I violated something. I'm like, what? So I haven't figured it out. But so I don't know, is it original song or is it a song by?
Original, it's original.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, then that, no worries then. Let's go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna do it. It's okay. All right.
Yeah, good,
I've never
good.
shared this publicly. I
Okay.
just wrote it last year and I'm still working on it. So maybe feedback would be helpful.
Okay.
I'm not a singer.
I like it
so
already, so then just let me know, okay?
all right. So long story short, there was, I'm looking for it right now.
Okay.
God, 1 second. It's short, it's not long.
Okay.
At the end of a long, stressful week, I sat down at the dining room table as I am doing right now.
Mhm.
And I was absolutely exhausted. And so anybody who writes knows that oftentimes we might be the vessel, but we may not be the originator. These things just kind of download to us. Never in my life have I written a song from front to back, especially something that was gospel, right? So as I'm sitting there, I kid you not, I hear this background song, this background noise. And then I hear a man's voice, kind of raspy, gospel-y, old school gospel, real fierce and strong. And he kind of reminded me of like a John P. Key, the gospel singer. Like if you think about how his voice sounds and powerful, and then the crowd was singing back to him, almost like it was the crowd, not the choir speaking back to God, if that makes sense. And there were certain things God would say, which was in the voice of John P. Key, and there were certain things that the choir would say back, sometimes quoting the scripture that God was saying. So it was just a back and forth conversation. And so I heard that, and I heard the noise, the song in a second, I'll tell you. So I heard that, I wrote it down after I kind of tapped it out because I don't have any musical ability. And I have a friend who sings and publishes gospel music. So I went to her and I'm making all these noises to her and singing. I was like, have you heard this before? Because I don't know if I heard this and I'm remembering this out of nowhere. She's like, I've never heard it before. She said, it's amazing. The next day I woke up and then I heard the chorus about my sleep. So I put it all together in a course of 24 hours. It's not quite finished. And so if my voice cracks, my voice cracks. But this song I call Following God. So it started out like with this, but it started out with an instrument that was like, bum, 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 bum. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum. And this right here, this hand is going to be the John P. Key voice. This is the choir, okay? So you know which is which. And then it repeats, bum, 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 bum. And then he goes, lean not on thy own understanding, Proverbs 3, give all your worries to God. Give God the praise and worship. He is the Almighty God. And pray for your salvation. Today is your liberation. I know my sheep and they hear me. Yes, we do. I am your sovereign God. Follow me to your victory. Sometimes the road might get hard. And pray for your salvation. Today is your liberation. The chorus. Sometimes the road, it might get hard. I just keep on following God. Keep the faith and hold my head high. I just keep on following God. And he comes back in. The road it might get weary. Lord, we trust you. Keep the faith and hold your head high. Follow me to your victory. Sometimes the road might get hard. And pray, pray, pray for your salvation. Today, today, today is your liberation. And then they repeat, sometimes the road might get hard. I just keep on following God. Keep the faith and hold my head high. I just keep on following God. There's another part that I'm missing. Hold on. I messed up a piece of it, but that's okay. There's other parts of it, and it just ends with it fades out. But the point is, that's what I heard. I hear like 3 layers of music. I don't know nothing about no music. I heard the man's voice and I heard the choir. And I can't really take credit for it because that really was a complete download from God.
Oh my heavens. I have this play.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
That has been on my computer for like 3 years. 3 years.
Yes.
And it's when you were singing that, I was like, oh my God. You and I have to talk. We don't have time now, but
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
oh
Yes.
my gosh.
I'm so ready. And there's more to it. There's more lines. There's more scripture meaning, more. The choir is excited because they're talking to God and God is telling them what to do. And my dear friend Tammy, who just happened to be here to support me today, when we went to dinner at the Harvest, I said, Tammy, I got to tell you this song I wrote. And I told her the song. And you know what this woman said to me that almost broke me down in tears? I was so excited about the song. This thought never occurred to me. She said, did you listen to the words? And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I listened to the words. She was like, no. She said, did you listen to the words? She said, Tamika, do you think it's possible that is God telling you what you need to hear? And it changed my perspective on what it meant. And I almost broke down crying in a restaurant.
Yeah, we will have to have one of our marathon talks because you were singing that and this play that I have resting on my computer that's been there for 3 years. It spoke to me that somehow, yes. And I will be back in Harrisburg soon, so.
Yay. Thank you. Thank y'all for listening.
Well, let me say this first off, you can sing, okay? So I'm gonna throw that out there. And by the way, I heard a lot of people do poetry and they, some music, but they didn't do it as well as that. And that's, you have to do that. You have to sing that because you were given that. And I believe Tammy, touched on something there. But at the same time, your voice was perfect for that piece. For me, I can't imagine someone else doing that.
But I see the choir. I already see the vision of the choir.
Oh yeah, I can see a choir.
Yeah. I will have to share. I will have to call you, Tamika, and tell you what I see.
I will be waiting for that call.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wow. Well, listen, Dan, I know you did one tonight. We're down to about 4 minutes here, and I don't want to, leave anybody out. And I really appreciate you coming on tonight, Tamika. This was excellent. And I want you to know that please hold on to the information. And Tammy, you as well. And listen, come on anytime you want to. Okay, we're on every Friday night from 7 to 9. We had to, be selective as to who we give the information to. There were some people who came on and acted like total fools. Really started cussing. They actually took over the show, and Brother Chris had to shut the whole thing down. So we had to become selective. But the night was, proof positive that we're doing the right thing, and God is all up in this, so we're going to keep on keeping on. Dan, do you have a short one you could give to us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This is the 50th poem I wrote, which is called Poem Number 50, Moving Towards What's Next.
All right.
With this next work, I reached a new milestone, one that I was not sure I would attain. Yet poem number 50 has arrived, bringing more experiences to gain. Expect more writings about animals, since many groups still need some attention. The vertebrates, mammals, birds, and fishes. The invertebrates, a lot to mention. Some works will cover actual events that occur at different times of my life. While many of these are past or present, the future would come cutting like a knife. The social and political persuasion is most destined to be for my poetry craft. However, for me, this type of writing takes the creation of many a draft. Another topic that I dare to try covers beliefs and others of that name. While worship and practice will stand out in front, Almighty God, you too are fair game. Thus, my poetry follow-up mission will involve many manner of subject. Most shall find favor among such verses. Those who don't, I care not if they object.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Always good. Thank you. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Yes, indeed. So we're going to end up, and I don't know if Brother Chris, were you able to pull up anything, a collaboration? And if we can just go out tonight, I want to thank Tamika Brown for coming on and doing what she's done so well. And also Tammy Fry, thank you so much for being a guest with us tonight. I want to thank Terri Martinez, Ro Brady, and also Neil Owens, and also Dr. Dan Snowden. And we're going to end the program tonight. Hope that you'll join us next Friday night, right here on The Voice, 17104 Harrisburg. And we hope that you will, enjoy the weekend as well. Have yourself a great Labor Day, and God bless you all, okay? Thanks again, everybody. And we're
God bless you, Nate.
All right, God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bless you guys.
This is called Dance African Man Dance.
Dance, African man, dance. African man, don't you feel like dancing? Don't you feel the rhythm and the beat of the earth and the hand of God pressing on your lower back? Can't you feel the pulse-pounding thump, 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 beat, 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 beating of nature rising up within you? Look at your arms move, like swans flying in the wind they move. See how long they are. Long like something is pulling them, unable to break them, stretching them all the way back home. And your legs are bent and shaking, and your feet are quick and darting, and your eyes are closed too tight for the light that blinds you, the light that lies to you, the light that stopped you from moving like this. You are free, African man. This is the hope of your people, the pride of your ancestors. Those who are crowding you, pushing and pulling you, those who call to you, dance. They scream at you, dance, they say. And you are locked up in this movement, this strange, unexplainable vibration that reaches through your heart, touching your soul, and you feel it. Oh, don't you feel it? Don't you feel it? After all of those dark and dreary years, after all of those names you were called that ate at your spirit, after all of the fake, marginal, animal images that you were branded with and lived with, after all that was said and done to you, and still you are standing. And you are still stronger than the evil that haunted you. And you see yourself for the first time again as a man, created with the ageless hands of God. And again, you are accepting that God is greater than those who chopped you down and took away your movement. And you see the forest for the first time again. And it is not the garden that you danced in. You hear the voice of the family that has called you man without wavering. All these years, they have accepted you, even when you were unable to move freely like your God intended in the beginning. This is the time, African man. Don't you feel it? Oh, don't you feel it? You are free to move like you were created to move and supposed to move. You are free to dance before God without shame. Don't you want to dance? Let's do the home dance, the dance that we do when our family is whole, caring, loving, forgiving, and protecting one another. Let's do the sun dance, the dance that we do with our father and mother as they lift us off the floor and we hold them with arms of respect so they won't fall. Let's do the Christ dance, the dance that we do for others when others cannot dance for themselves. Let's do the warrior dance, the dance that we do when our community is threatened by those who don't like our dance and those who don't want us to dance at all. Let's dance, African man. I know you want to dance. Close your eyes and dance. Close your eyes and see the presence of God within you. Bend your legs so you can't ever be pushed over again. Move your feet as fast as the African drum talks. Sway to the rhythm and let your arms float to the beat of your soul. Reclaim yourself. Dance, African man. Dance, African man. It's our time. It's our song. Let's make the music that will never stop. Let's make the music that will never, ever stop. Let's do the dance that God gave us. Let's never, ever again stop doing the dance that God gave us. Let's teach our children how to dance our God-given dance, and they will know Jesus through us. Let's show our women that we have reclaimed our dance, and they will thank God for our return. Let's dance in our streets, through our streets, and around our streets, doing the dance that men do when they are working and building and leading without fear of anyone except God. And when we dance, when we let it all go and get loose and be free, the world will watch us and marvel at us and try their best to be like us. And they will see for the first time again, the first man, the African man, the man that dances for the Father again. And they who sought to destroy us will try to honor us, still trying to get a hold of us. But we won't let them interrupt our dance, because we will dance for our Father who created our dance. And through God's covenant and our determination, I'm telling you, my brothers, I'm telling you, this dance will never end. If we believe it and receive it, if we believe it and receive it, we can dance. Oh, African man. Let's dance.
Thank you, Brother Chris. Appreciate you. And thank you all for coming on tonight. Hope to see you next time. Okay? All right. God bless.
Good night.
Good night.